Hi, and welcome to video 3, which is about creating their follow-up series or creating their email content. If you've closed the deal, then congratulations. It's time to set them up. Set up their system, their email system, and their follow-up emails. But first, you need to ask them for content. And what I mean by content is what is going to be in those emails. I mean, you know, as a marketer or whoever's watching this video, is that setting up emails is a very, very easy thing to do. But what you need to have is content. But you also don't want to overwhelm them and make them feel like, oh, I thought you were setting this up. But you need to make them understand that all you have to know is what kind of content is going to be in the email. I mean, you can pretty much decide for yourself what content goes in there, but you don't know the content as well as they do. For example, if I was talking to a gym owner and I had different autoresponders set up for different segments of the gym, people that wanted to lose weight, people that wanted to gain muscle, people for dieting, people that want to eat more to gain muscle, and people that want to lose weight. So that's the type of content you need to figure out. You need to figure out from them, okay, we're going to have 4 different autoresponders. I'm going to set up this email system for you so that you already have these 4 different email autoresponders. But you need to be able to create content so that you can either have something to give away or have some sort of e-course. All right, so let's look at one of these. People that want to gain muscle. If you're going at a gym membership, you don't really know this, but people that want to gain muscle generally are looking to bulk up, which means they're going to be doing a lot of heavy weightlifting, and they're going to eat high caloric intakes of meals. They're going to eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day, and they're going to do heavy weights. That's the type of content that you want to get from the gym owner. Is say, okay, all right, I get all this stuff. Now that I understand the basics, then I can turn it all into emails. You want to do about 7 to 12 emails as an e-course, because what you're doing is you're giving away a free e-course. In order for somebody to sign up on their list, they get 7 to 12 emails, educational emails. You're not selling anything. You're not selling anything unless the person signs up and they're not a member. Your whole goal in the beginning is to give them educational material. Say, okay, you can come to the gym, you can see so and so, later to get personal training. For example, those that want to gain muscle, they need to weightlift extremely heavy weights. Not enough to break your back or anything, but enough to really stress your body and do bench presses. You're going to need somebody to spot you. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, you could always ask so and so personal trainer to show you how to do it so that you can do it correctly. So your whole goal is to educate the list and then sell them indirectly. Never say go to this person, it's going to cost this much. Just say you're going to need a personal trainer. Oh, by the way, so and so does such and such. So that's what I mean by content. They need to provide the content to you. You need to take the content and write it into emails. And I'll show you in a minute, how to do all that. Then you need to set up the autoresponder to send emails out frequently. Generally, you want to send it out frequently in the beginning. For example, the first week that so-and-so signs up, you need to email them at least once or every other day. Then as time passes, you want to email them maybe once a week. And be consistent. If you email somebody on Tuesday, then they're going to expect you to send emails on Tuesday. And so forth, Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. Just be consistent because that's important. So, fortunately, I was paying attention in technical writing class in college, and this is one of the few classes that I actually use in real life. Now, what you're looking at right now is PAD. It's an acronym for Purpose audience and design, and you can use it to write your e-courses, articles, or follow-up emails. In this case, we're dealing with follow-up emails, which can be an e-course. Now, this is very, very easy to use, so you'll see how it works. So the P stands for purpose. You need to know the purpose of the e-course or the follow-up emails. If you know the purpose of the specific autoresponder follow-up series, then writing the e-course is very, very easy thing to do. Now, after I describe what PAD is, so you can get a good idea of it, then I will go off and write an actual follow-up email series, and I'll start it out so that you can see where I'm going with it. So once you know the purpose of the e-course, then you can move on to the A part. The A stands for audience. You need to know who will be reading these emails. For example, if I'm writing an e-course for a gym owner, he's provided me with content about, weight loss and gaining muscle. There's two different segments, or many different segments within a gym itself. Different types of people with different needs. So I need to know who my audience is and who will be reading these emails. But not only that, in addition to that, I need to know what type of person I'm dealing with. What are their needs? What are their wants? What are the problems that they face? Things like that. Because if I know the problems that they face and the roadblocks they will most likely run into, then I can complete and create a good e-course. Now, in order to do that, it's wise to sit down with the business owner, figure out who their audience is. Of course, that's what you're going to do in the free consultation. But you can also sit down with them later and then get to know their clients, get to know, even maybe sit down and talk with a client for 5 minutes, ask them questions. If you do that, I guarantee you the business owner will be like, wow, this person's really trying to get to know my business on a deeper level. So the trust factor will always be there. But anyways, you need to know your audience, get in the mind of the audience. Basically, like writing an article or writing a sales letter, you have to know the audience. You have to know how they tick. Then comes the D, design. Design also includes what they need to do. So what you want to do is you want to create a list of 7 to 12 tips or problems. They can be tips or they can be problems. And the reason being is you can mix and match. You can mix it up with a bunch of problems, because if you have problems, you can get solutions. If you have tips from the owner, you can do that as well. So you could sit down with a business owner, take 10 minutes, ask so and so, hey, what are 12 tips that come to your mind? The biggest, or you can even ask, what are the biggest questions that you receive from your customers about losing weight? And they're like, oh, that's easy, blah, 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 blah. There you go. You have your 7 to 12 e-course. Or ask them for problems, But guarantee you it's very, very easy thing to do. But that's what I mean by content earlier, is you need to sit down, figure out what problems and questions that their customers have. Dieting, and what they need to do exercise wise. What does their life look like? Do they sleep more? Do they eat more? Do they eat less? Things like that. So it can be a tip or a problem. Then when you have a tip or problem, the call to action or the solution is very, very easy to come across. Because then, you could probably figure it out, but you could also ask the gym owner or the business owner, what are give me 7 to 12 tips or problems. You don't have to have complete sentences. Okay, number one, problems that people face with gaining muscle. They generally eat too much and they don't gain weight. They have a high metabolism, things like that. Or they're on a low budget. You could segment things out like that. But that's what PAD is, and you need to do it before you create your e-course. and your follow-up emails. And to this day, I still use that information. In college, I was in 2001, and Pad is great. You can use it in e-courses, you can use it follow-up emails, and you can use it anywhere else. But as you can see, it's a very easy thing to do. Once you understand it, we can actually move on. So what I'm going to do now is actually show you what it looks like to take Pad to the next level and apply it to create an actual e-course. So right now we're in the brainstorming process, so I would recommend that you open Notepad, WordPad, or even grab a piece of paper and pen. Whatever keeps your mind thinking, that's what matters. Now, don't worry about packing these follow-up emails or setting them up into your autoresponder just yet. Right now we're just in the brainstorming process, so that's all you have to think about. Now, what I did was I pretty much copied what I wrote in the previous slide into Notepad. So we've got PAD, which stands for Purpose, Audience, and Design. So the first thing I'm looking at is the purpose of the e-course. Basically, all I need to know is what I want to do with the e-course. Now, because I'm dealing with a gym business, and as I told you earlier, there's many segments and different types of people with different needs. But I'm not going to audience just yet. I just want to know what I want to do with the newsletter. Or, I mean, what does the client or the gym business owner want to do with the autoresponder? And you can give them advice, you can give them your opinions. Don't lay it all on them, otherwise, they'll feel like they're overwhelmed. And you definitely don't want to do that when you're dealing with offline businesses. You want to make them think that you're doing most of the work, even though you're trying to get content and things like that. Now, as you can see, I wrote down gym business. That's the purpose of the e-course, is to focus on gym business customers. Then I put down two other purposes. For example, newsletter tips to help current customers. Current customers that come in, maybe a benefit of being a customer is that they get a 7 to 12 email series that has tips specifically for their segment. You have weight loss, people that want to lose weight, people that want to gain muscle, people that want to increase their endurance, people that want to increase their speed, things like that. So you have new newsletter tips to help current customers. Then you have newsletter tips to help undecided customers. So you're thinking about, okay, I can help this gym business owner build a relationship with their current customers, but at the same time, build a relationship with undecided customers. That way they can build two different lists, one with current customers and one with undecided customers. Now, you can tell the gym business owner, hey, you know what? I can create two different lists, one for current customers and one for undecided customers. But keep in mind that the one with undecided customers, the emails will be similar but slightly different. I mean, think about it. If I go to audience here, who will be reading these emails and describe the person this is and their needs? So let's take, for example, that I'm dealing with somebody who wants to lose weight and gain muscle. So I got two different segments that I want to focus on. If I were dealing with a current customer, then I could talk about, tips and problems. And unless he's trying to sell classes and things like that, then he doesn't really need to sell that much. Because what he's doing is just building a relationship right now. Then with the people that are undecided, that want to lose weight and gain muscle, he can do the same thing. He can use the same content, the tips and the problems. But the only difference is that at the end of the email, he has a call to action. So that's the only difference. So as you can see, you pretty much can recycle your content. You just work on current customers first or undecided first, whatever you want to do. Then just make sure that the undecided people have a call to action. Say, hey, now that you have learned this tip, now you can learn more by joining this membership, or we'd love to see you at this gym so that we can help you more in this area. You don't always have to do a hard sell. You can also do a indirect soft sell. And that's what we're doing by providing content. And that's what you tell the business owner. They're like, wow, this makes all sense in my head now. Which is amazing because you do get to help these business owners understand what they're missing out on and what that possibly could happen. And just by doing this, like I said earlier, you really get your foot into the business owner's place, and then you get 2 feet in there. They're going to want to hire you for future marketing services. But anyways, without sidetracking, you've got the audience. Okay, current customers, undecided possible customers. Who will be reading these emails? Okay, we've got that done. Describe what type of person this is. Okay, now since I'm dealing with both people that want to lose weight and people that want to gain muscle, all fall into different categories. So the person that wants to lose weight, what type of person this is? Usually this person wants to lose weight maybe for health reasons, maybe for because they're fat. They want a good looking body. They want more energy. Maybe people that are bigger and they want to lose fat, and because of that, by losing more energy, they have, or I'm losing more weight, they have more energy because they have to carry around less weight. They want to lose belly fat, maybe to get abs. There could be different reasons and their needs. Usually, people like that maybe are used to eating a lot. Not always, but I mean, that can be the case. But another thing you could do is also go to easyarticles.com. I use that all the time. easyarticles.com. And just read about it too. People that want to gain muscle usually, are skinny, high metabolism, can eat a lot and not gain weight. And then what are the solutions that they have to face? Like tips and problems. All right, so I'm not going to go down here now, lose weight, gain muscle. Tips are just to, depending on the person, just walking, eat less calories, eat well. Gain muscle, people that need to gain muscle would be eating more, yet weight lift less repetition, but more weights. So, and if you don't know the answers, you can always go to the gym owner, and then, or you can go to easyarticles.com and do research on that. And as I said, if they don't have time to give you a lot of content, you can always go to Easy Articles. Don't copy and plagiarize though, but just get an idea of it. And you can even ask, personal trainers, things like that. Sometimes it's just easier to talk to the business owner or to their employees or their customers, in fact, as well. So now that you have a good idea of PAD, now we can actually begin to write the follow-up emails. And how do you do that? Follow-up emails consist of welcome email, which is the first email they get, and then follow-up emails. It could be like week or day one, You could say, okay, 7 to 12. You could say, I'm going to give you 12 weeks of awesome information. Okay. Welcome email is probably just something to introduce them. It's not actual content yet. And then day one, we'll call it week one. And it depends on you, depends on the person too. Like sometimes maybe it can be more than 12 weeks. It could be, let's say that they're putting on them on a specific diet and they have to have, 30 days. It's a 1 month period, 30 days. You could have day one, day two, day three, day four, like that. And then week one, I would just put week one, bunch of weeks. Change it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you get the point. I'm not going to go further than that. We'll just call the remaining weeks number signs. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. The welcome email, you just want to say hi, first name. And these are going to be customized. You got to remember when you're dealing with autoresponders and Aweber, they're all going to be customized. So at any time somebody gives their first name and their email to the business owner, you can customize it. So you can say, hi, first name. Thank you for signing up to the whatever title your newsletter is. So that's just an introduction for your welcome email. Your week 1 to 12 or 1 to 7, whatever you choose, you just need to make sure that when you write an email, what I would do is I would remember my audience. Okay, are you dealing with young people? Are you dealing with older people? Are you dealing with whomever? But whoever you're dealing with, it kind of matters how you write. But at the same time, I would suggest that you write informally, meaning write like you would write to a friend. But don't use jargon, don't use, technical terms, don't use slang. Just keep it informal like you're talking to somebody, but just keep it simple and straightforward. So let's say week 1 is all about people that want to gain muscle. All right, so week 1 is important because if they want to gain muscle, they need to understand just about everything. So you could say, I'm going to give you 5 ways or 5 things you need to do. And just list out the things that they need to do, and that's it. And just elaborate on that. You can write a bunch of keywords here and then elaborate it a little deeper. Week 2, they're probably ready to get started or they already got started. You could talk about, okay, weights, lift heavy weights, less repetition. So you could list 3 things. It's just like a grocery list or things to do. If you can make a grocery list or things that you need to do that day, you pretty much can create an email. So write the email. It doesn't have to be in any format or any specific style, but I just want to show you how easy it is to create follow-up emails.